Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. And that was another enjoyable and getting close to the end of all those episodes of Jedi Academy re-edited and outcast. So, I love that little web series that had its time. Jay Hitman, how are you doing tonight, sir?
How we doing? How many more of those do we have left? Because these are probably one of the most enjoyable things of this. I mean, not only like when we discuss the content and everything, but these are just so enjoyable.
And isn't it nice too? It's a nice little intro to things before we get into the muck and before we raise, in particular, your blood pressure.
Oh God, yes. It's like,
and yeah, so we there will be at least like 3 more. I might save one for a future date, but at the same time, I'll probably still play it because I'll be impatient and want to show off all these. So
I found like you've done this to me. I think one of the last podcast, during that episode, he was like, "Shut up!" So the whole week I've gone through and I've just told people to shut up.
Because, it's something that even like my brother and I will say the lines from the show.
Yes,
to each other, and I've even said them at work and stuff like that. Just kind of because I know they're also just so under the radar that nobody will just give me a second look.
No,
so it's really fun just to kind of throw out those lines, and now it's like, just sharing the wealth.
I said it at work. And I think people were looking at me like either I had Tourette's or I was just going crazy. But it's enjoyable because they don't know. So
yeah,
hopefully
that's part of the extra fun, And now if for who's been out there graciously listening to our show, they'll be in on it too with us, and that's just all the more fun.
Ever so slightly growing, I might add. So that's awesome to see.
We're
doing either something right or the mouse has splinter cells that are listening. One of the two.
And I'm debating this for when I keep the episode on YouTube, because it keeps getting the goofy what is it, the little copyright claims or whatever because of the music used either by because of Star Wars itself or whatever. Yeah, the copyright claims. I might just have them automatically silence it, and then for anybody that's listening or watching this back, I do put this up on places like BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble. You can find the links in the description. So if you want to see potentially, if I decide to, cut it out or have it just automatically quieted by YouTube, you can go to those other places and see those Jedi Academy re-edited episodes uninterrupted. So just as a heads up for going forward in the future, I might do that. We'll see how
I feel like Disney's giving YouTube kickback. They either secretly own YouTube or they're giving YouTube kickbacks because
it's just the goofy lawyers and the DMCA claims and all that sort of bull crap, even though it's like fair use and being used in a even joking, mocking way. It's like, nope, we're still gonna claim our shit. So
I just tell myself at night that Disney owns everything. Makes me feel better or worse.
So since we've capped off, we've gone through Book of Boba Fett. I figure since you found this article, we'll dive into this bad boy because let's just although next week I might have a funny video as an addition, but for now we'll get to this article here. And then I'll again, for anybody that will want to read these at a future date, I put the article links in the descriptions as well, so you can find them there and be able to read them too. Because I know I always find that annoying when people don't put the links to the articles that they're sharing in their own videos and stuff like that. So I like to at least throw that in there.
Scholar gentlemen, because a lot of people do that.
I
and
try.
It irritates me. Like, where's the description? Like, how can I find this article?
All right. So, bounding into comics, one of my favorite places to go to for sure, because they're non-shitheads. Shadows of the Empire author Steve Perry on the Book of Boba Fett season finale looked pretty, but as substantive as cotton candy in the Sahara. Beautifully put. I mean, we went through that
Steve
bitch
Perry.
and and it's like we went through it, and I mean, I know there are other people out there too that really, really dug into this, and I mean, we certainly had our fun with it for sure, but I'm looking forward to this. So this is kind of my first look at this article too, since you were the one that sent it to me. So as the article goes, Shadows of the Empire author Steve Perry continued his criticism of Book of Boba Fett following the show's season finale that saw Boba Fett and his numerous allies face off against the Pike Syndicate. Perry previously criticized the Book of Boba Fett following the show's third episode, where he called the show Blabba Fett. That was the article we did go over. He would even go so far as to state the stupid is strong here. Good. We love that one. With episode 5, Perry continued his criticism, sarcastically explaining why the episode was the best one yet. Episode 5, the Book of Boba Fett, ? Best yet, hands down. Want to know why? No back to tank flashbacks, no Hutts, and no Boba Fett. So from his own post, I guess I'm guessing Facebook. Bob Falfa spoilers. spoiler. Episode 5 of Book of okay, so this is where no back to tanks, no Boba Fett, blah. Like these two previous episodes, Perry provided his thoughts on the show on Facebook. He began his review stating, "I don't mean to be cruel, but truth triumphs kind. Boba Fett has been, for me, the most disappointing chapter in the Star Wars saga. It gives me no pleasure to say this. I love Star Wars." And, we all share that. We all do love Star Wars. But the fact of the matter is, the Mouse, Kathleen Kennedy, and the rest of her stooges are doing everything they can to absolutely destroy the lore, destroy these legacy characters, build up their own. And you know what? I have no problem with creating new characters. Absolutely. But don't in the process sacrifice and kill your already established characters. That's the dickish thing to do. You're spitting in the face of the creator, George Lucas. And have your problems as you may, but god damn it, man. You're using his universe, his characters. Show some goddamn respect.
Well, yeah. To bring up, I was just going to agree with you. So when people ask me if I like Star Wars, I always make it a point to say like the true Star Wars, George Lucas Star Wars, not like just Disney. What I go back to. I'm going to coin this word, the Disneyfication.
Yeah. Well, and that's the funny thing. It's like now, even thanks to deep diving further on things, I've even further processed it to, pre-2008 Star Wars, is because that was around the time Filoni started doing the Clone Wars. It's like before he started doing that stuff, that's the Star Wars that I'll love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Because then after that, it was then the beginning of retcons and furthering shoehorned characters and crap like that. No. Yeah.
You didn't like sausage fingers? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't. I watched the show. I remember watching Clone Wars, and I didn't particularly care for Cad. No. Even then. Even before the live action shit. Sorry, say again.
Is that and the Jawa lover? You didn't like her either.
Of all I would have rather have Watto be brought back than have the Jawa banger be around. Good lord!
You might as well just say Jar Jar. I would honestly have.
I would be glad. I would now be glad to usher in the reign of Darth Jar Jar at this point. As stupid as a fan theory as that was, let's bring on Darth Jar Jar. Okay, let's just do it. Let's go full 9. Okay.
I mean, I agree with you. 100%.
Back to this. So Goes on to say they had elements, potentially interesting characters, adept creators, debatable, a clean canvas. Yes, they did.
Highly.
And the story they choose to tell was, in a word, banal. Such a waste. This has been Iron Fist level. Missed the boat. He continued. Perry then roasted the show for its heavy-handed dialogue. Last episode was one long, lot of explosions battle, very active, pretty to watch. Once they stopped talking and telling us what's going on, understand they didn't need to say anything. They actually had the visuals. Showed them, but chose to explain what the audience was seeing. It was as if they thought they were doing radio. He elaborated. From there, Perry criticized the show's portrayal of the battle. And he quotes, and in a battle that might employ the worst strategy and poorest tactics in Star Wars ever. When in doubt, scream and shout, flap your arms, run all about. The most inept combatants, for whom pouring piss out of a boot would seem to be a major challenge. There was not on surprising ones. I'm guessing not one surprising moment. Not one surprising moment. Paint by numbers, on the nose, as shocking as the syllabic rhythm of a haiku. He added. He concluded, well, unless you came from a planet that has no fiction, and since you got here, you never read a novel, comic book, seen a movie, TV show, or a cartoon. Looked pretty, but as substantive as cotton candy in the Sahara.
Who loves Steve Perry? Like, how better could you put it?
No, he's not. He's just spot on. I mean, we went through the whole thing last week. I admitted my own little biases for the monster fights, but yeah, like we were kind of like it had that, but there was not much else to it. I mean, there's plenty wrong going on with it.
No, and I just look pretty, but as substantive as cotton candy in the same. Like I love, they're like, Jay Hitman, you're just biased. Like, no, like that is a perfect description of it.
It is, and I mean, I'm just glad that he's followed up, because a lot of times, anytime like big authors and stuff like that have been involved with the EU and everything,
right?
When they've come out and said something, they get lambasted by the children of the mouse, and they'll end up taking a knee and apologizing and all this crap. And I'm just glad to see that he's continued to roast this shit.
Well,
and that's the best thing you can ask for.
Yeah. I really do hope that I'm not going to say that, but I am. I hope that we do have some children of the mouse watching, because hey, joke's on you. He's not going to he's not going to apologize. Like this, like Steve Perry. If he does, I'll eat crow. But I think, like, to your point, like, I'm just glad that he's doing it, because again, like, you're one. I mean, let's be honest, Fracture. You're one of the reasons why I bought Shadows of the Empire and started reading it. And the first the first page in, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm done. Like, take my money.
Yeah.
So
well, okay. So now this is I think what we could also segue into is,
please tell me.
Speaking of that,
I love yes.
So okay, the next one, and this is on, and this will be, once we get through this article, it'll be kind of on point about Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
So the next article we got on Bounding into Comics is Disney announces new soulless cash grab novel about Han Solo and Leia Organa's wedding and honeymoon. And of course, any of us knows they've already covered this.
Should we do a PSA announcement real quick and just let the listeners know to go get Tylenol before we dive into this further?
You might want to get some Tylenol before diving into this.
Oh gosh.
So
I had to. I took the whole bottle.
As they started out, In another piece of evidence that Star Wars has lost its soul and is just a cash grab for Disney, the company revealed their new Galactic Starcruiser ride is the location of Han Solo and Leia Organa's honeymoon. The detail was revealed in a blog post on the Star Wars website where they promoted a new novel, Star Wars, The Princess and the Scoundrel, written by Beth Revis, that focuses on Han Solo and Leia Organa's wedding and honeymoon. Associate editor Kristen Baver, I guess, detailed, set just after the events of Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the story begins on the forest moon of Endor, where Han proposes in the elation of the rebel victory against the Empire. After a ceremony at the site of the victory celebration at the end of the film, the newlyweds depart for a honeymoon aboard the Halcyon Starcruiser, the luxury vessel at the heart of the new Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser experience at Disney World Resort. Oh, dear Lord.
Dude, I wrote after that, I was like, it's set after the, like you said, after the events of episode 6. And then, but in my notes, I put the two newlyweds hop aboard their the new Halcyon Starcruiser and go spend their honeymoon at Disneyland.
I mean, right? So if you're unfamiliar with Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, Disney describes it as a revolutionary new 2-night experience where you are the hero. You and your group will embark on a first of its kind Star Wars adventure that's your own. It's the most immersive Star Wars story ever created, one where you live a bespoke experience and journey further into Star Wars adventure than you ever dreamed possible. Oh, dear Lord. Do we want to go into the cost of this thing?
Oh, yeah. Let's, yeah. I wrote, what did I put in my, okay. Yeah. You only have to sell your heart, half your lung, and 2 of your right butt cheeks to gain enough credits for $5,000.
Yeah,
$5,000.
the website. Okay, if like I said, I will have links to the article in the description. So if you want, it is. This whole thing is the most ridiculous bullshit because it is. Yeah, like you said, the website details the price beginning at $4,809 for 2 guests. 2 guests. Nobody. What the. This is not exactly accessible to your average. This is okay. So this is basically like in Jurassic Park. Take it, the movie or the book, whichever. I prefer the book personally. It's basically this will become its own little status symbol that if anybody that wants to shell out this cash, they can then say, "I went and got the Star Wars experience." And then the rest of us will just kind of laugh our asses off and go, "You got fucking gypped.
You
hardcore,
got,
bro. You the shysters got you good."
Yeah, but there's hope because for a shy $6,000, you can bring 3 adults and 1 child.
Right.
And then I just wrote they're shysters. COVID did not cause their stupidity or greed. Like,
no, this was coming regardless. This was all planned out. It didn't require.
Here's the best thing. Here's the best thing. All right, so you go from the Starcruiser, making money, to now Galaxy's Edge. You're going to travel to Batu or however you want to pronounce the ridiculous name. Yeah.
Well, this is why this was actually kind of good that we got the Stephen Perry thing, because I was talking about this with my brother. You have something like that, right? This whole Starcruiser, that's their tie-in, right? This overly expensive bullcrap that actually doesn't lend anything to the Star Wars universe other than to say, "Hey, we've got this Starcruiser that we're now this." I mean, they are trying. I guess the only thing is they're trying to now shoehorn this in, from what I heard, into other things besides this book. It's going to be part of, like, I think their High Republic stuff, and this is going to be that constant flying around. Okay. Shadows of the Empire. when that was just it was that book. But then what was great was they put together an original soundtrack to
Yeah.
accompany it. And they did, I don't know if you've listened to it, but it's like, it's an amazing soundtrack that does, yes, also bring back some tracks that you would recognize from the movies, but then they bring in some new tracks too, for also Shizor, giving him a theme, and the Battle of the Skyhook, and all these extra little events that take place that were also then, that music was then used for the games.
Yeah.
We got a book, we got a soundtrack, we got comic books, we got video games, we got basically two different versions too, because you had the N64 version, which was fantastic, and that's the one that I mainly played. But there was also the PC version, which was essentially, yes, the same game, but the cool thing about that version was that it had animated cutscenes. So they kind of, while the N64 with the limitations of the cartridge, they kind of had stills, but it still worked fantastic. But it's like, we had all this extra content, but it was easily accessible, and it just only helped, further the story, because then while Dash Rendar was a part of the book and stuff, we got more time with him playing the video games and stuff. And the great thing with this was that, we introduced a new villain, and he wasn't a Force user or anything like that. He was a criminal mastermind. That's what he was. And he was good at it. And he was going up against the best, trying to, get the better of Darth Vader and even Palpatine himself.
Right.
And you don't. And he had his like specially made cyborg Geary that was basically kind of that intermediary to be able to take on a Jedi, close to being Jedi knighthood for Luke, because she was programmed to be, basically his bodyguard, even though he himself could fight too. But that was, that extra layer thrown in there, and
it just boggles my mind. Like, if you compare, like, I know there's people who didn't like some of George Lucas's ideas, and that's all fine and good. But like, if you compare, and this is where I just have a hard time understanding the gap. You compare what Lucas created and the affordability of it, right?
Yeah.
Versus what Disney is now putting out. It's like, it's not like there's no comparison.
No.
Well, and again, the argument can be made that, well, Jay Hitman, you're biased. And it's like, no, look at what he produced, and look at what Kathleen Kennedy, I'm just going to say it. I don't care if this pisses people off. She has no excuse to be doing what she's doing. Like, she worked, if I'm mistaken, correct me, but she was with Steven Spielberg. Like, she has all these accolades, and you're producing just crap.
She's worked right beside Lucas and Spielberg. She's been there. I mean, basically, there shouldn't be anyone more knowledgeable of the process and stuff like that than her. You think that she would have some knowledge of keeping things, I don't know, I dare say, well, not just interesting, but dare I say, consistent?
Oh, how dare you?
Look, I mean, this is the thing. Yes, like you say, people can have their issues with Lucas and, the prequel trilogy and stuff like that. I can understand there's some goofiness, but you know what? This is the thing. It was all Lucas's vision. It was all his story. It was all him taking that hands-on approach in, making sure that this was the story he wanted told.
Right.
What we got proof of out of that sequel trilogy, out of the fucking sequel trilogy, is that very fact of, too many cooks in the kitchen. Nobody being the lead person. You had Jar Jar Abrams that came in for one movie, bunked off, and then supposedly left notes for Rian Johnson to take over, and then he just basically made up his own bloody story. And just went for, and then caused the worst movie that has overshadowed all worst movies for some
which
people.
one are you talking about? Force Awakens?
No, The Last Jedi. Ryan
yeah.
Johnson did The Last Jedi. And so it right there was boom. We've lost the thread after one movie. After the one movie that was basically retelling of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Just poorly done. You know,
I can handle poorly. I can handle poorly. This is there's no words that I can say. The FCC will probably cancel this out. I can't.
It's just that. It's just like, God damn it. We could have had, we could have had something good. It could have been, but right out the gate, they're already with problems. Like, oh God.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
so it sounds like your blood pressure is almost as high as mine right now. So I can't wait.
Well, when you get me started on shit like this, yeah.
Well, okay. So like we're pretty like this, like, but then dive down to when you pull up the article, like I'm excited to see how far your blood pressure goes up after we talk about this next thing.
I was gonna say, which one do we want to go into?
Did you want to do the lightsaber training? I don't know.
Oh God!
Is there anything else we missed from the galaxy? And again, you want proof this is a cash grab. So not only are you going to spend $5,000 at the Starcruiser experience, but then you get to hop over to Galaxy's Edge, and good luck spending money there. Like, and inflation is not even a thing. Like, you will spend. These guys they're shysters, right? So they sell. There's it's a credit card, right? But it's like in the form of like a credit. So you spend $100 on this reloadable credit card that you can spend there. So not only are you're basically paying them to get this refillable credit card, but then you're going to spend more money.
Oops, wrong one. Is that right? I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, it is there because it's what is it? It's like what is it called? It's I'll have to find out what it's actually called, but yeah, it's a reloadable, essentially like Visa credit card. But it's $100 that you load onto it, and then you get to spend that throughout the park, if you will. But good luck trying to find something outside of food that doesn't cost more than $100.
Oh Jesus. All right, should I? I don't know if I'll turn the sound on for this, but I'll see.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it'll work. Do we
get your defibrillators ready?
All right. Tell me if you can hear this or not when I get this going. All right, here we go. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the Lightsaber Training Pod. So excited to have you here.
This looks unbelievable.
We have been working on this.
I guess it does.
Have a whole brand new way for our guests to experience this ancient art of the lightsaber.
Can I?
You don't even.
Please.
Okay. So do I turn it on or
go for it? Right.
Okay, so
no.
This is the funny thing. You do this little introduction, and you're wanting the ancient art of the Jedi. Okay. So you don't even at least have the person kind of maybe, I don't know, dressed as a Jedi just to kind of give it that extra feel or ambiance or whatever. And
she's from HR, fractured. She's Disney HR.
Oh God!
Right there.
Oh. All right.
So you're right there.
Facing
Can
here.
you face off against the remote?
I'm sorry, that doesn't impress me at all. I mean, you'd be better off just like doing it as a
what
VR.
What are you doing?
You might as well just do it as a VR sort of headset, or even like the Kinect. Bust out an Xbox Kinect and use the
Wii U. Do the Wii U.
Oh God!
It gets better.
That is fun.
Welcome to the bridge of the Halcyon Starcruiser.
Okay, I remember hearing people talk, and it's true. It's like, how does this look at all like a starship deck for Star Wars? How? Well, it looks bland as hell.
Yeah.
I just so cool in here.
here in
You're a
front of the
liar!
systems, this is one of my favorite places because you actually get to
Right?
push all the buttons. You can
Oh my
actually
God!
Change the settings, control the ship, but we
Push all
could
the
really
buttons?
use some help defending the ship. Are you up for it?
I'm definitely
Lost
up
my
for it. I don't
mind.
know. You should trust me to do it.
You're going to be actually
No, we don't
guiding
trust you
where
to do
we're
jack
aiming.
shit.
So you're going to aim and I'll fire.
Okay.
All right.
Space Invaders has a better setup than this.
You want to take us to hyperspace?
I would love to take it to hyperspace.
All right.
Just don't let me mess this up.
You got this.
Okay.
So, just give that lever a strong
The most
pull.
Yeah.
scripted
Hold on.
video ever.
Oh God.
The most scripted thing I've ever seen in my life.
absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. They're not gonna go into this blind.
You have caused me. So in our journey through this podcast, there have been many times where I've almost just lost my mind, almost. But watching this, I think I finally have arrived losing my mind. This thing is disrespectful to the art of lightsaber dueling. You swing us, and then quote, you swing your sword. So these bastards can't even get it right. It's a lightsaber, you shyster.
I mean, they don't even that little light show that of him supposedly trying to I guess deflect the laser bolts looks so bad.
And then quote, it says a light flashes around the room. They basically turn you into a cat with Disney using a laser pointer.
Yeah, a laser pointer. Yeah, exactly.
Is this I would rather go play for I don't know if any, but laser. We use have a place called Laser Quest, where it's laser tag. Would be.
Yeah.
It's essentially what.
Well, like I said, it would have been better off if they'd busted out using where was it getting Microsoft or somebody to bust out the Kinect and trying to, actually set up a sensory program to, I don't know, do something with a digital. I don't know.
I agree, but I would rather watch paint on my house dry while thumbing my butthole than going. So where did your $4,809 go to? Is it to literally swing at a projected light, acting like you're deflecting what looked like not to be real blaster fire? Is it to press buttons? I'd rather go to Home Depot and mess with the power tools for free.
You'd have more fun, probably.
You'd have more fun, and then you go to to pull a lever. So where does this go to? Where does your money go to? Just to stay overnight? I don't understand it. Is this and I'm not you and I grew up in a different age of the bygone era. But is this this generation? Are people excited for this? Are these kids excited to go and swing a sword that's called a lightsaber? Again, you bastard.
No,
what is appealing about this? Maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
it doesn't even look like a spaceship. A Starcruiser.
No, I mean, I always feel disconnected enough as it is. I'm never quite caught up on everything. I'm always what is talk? And before that, Snapchat. I'm like, what the hell is a Snapchat? I felt like Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. I was like, what the hell is a Snapchat? I can't imagine who. For all I know, there are kids that are really excited to this. I can't imagine who. I feel bad for the parents. I feel bad for the parents that are looking at that and going, "My God, I don't know how we're gonna ever actually pay for this sort of thing."
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad one bit. You know why I don't feel bad? Because you have chosen to spend $5,000 on.
Oh, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it's still just wow.
I get it. I don't have kids. I got a dog. So I pretty much have kids. I got nieces, and there's probably no amount of money that I wouldn't spend on them. But I'm telling you right now, I will not spend it. I wouldn't spend $5,000 on this stuff for them.
No. That there's a time where you just kind of have to say, listen,
Yeah.
Love to, but that's
not
not
going
exactly
to
in our that's not exactly in our
you.
pocketbook.
No, but it's like expose you to like non-canon just BS.
Yeah.
I digress. I'm going back on my page.
You know, like I said, you're not wrong.
Do we have time to touch on like this Beth Revis? I know the article is still it goes on a little bit, but just do we have time before we get into the Mando review to like touch on like this Beth Revis, this author that is dumber than a box of rocks?
This one, the back into
the actual book itself, like the book that she wrote.
Oh, that art, the StarWars.com blog post.
Well, yeah, and if we don't have time, that's fine. You can put it up and everybody can read for themselves. But like, this got my blood boiling. Like stupidity at its finest.
Let me hang on. Let me I mean, like I sent you that that clip, or the clip that I saw at the end of that little interview between the two, and I was just like, like I said, I kind of had to be reminded.
Yeah, we might be able to. We might just save it because it did. Like I wrote a lot of notes. I'm just
if it got you going, let's. I'm pulling it up right now. I got it.
This might work out because the Mando review is not going to be too bad, but this is just. I feel like we should do our due diligence, and we have a responsibility to just eviscerate this woman for her shenanigans.
On old StarWars.com here, for their and you know that, like I said this to my brother earlier, I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to actually start paying attention to this site now.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either, but just to kind of be able to roast them when we want to. All right.
I thank you, Fractured Filter, for now allowing me to and giving me the motivation to follow StarWars.com. I don't want to.
I don't want to give them the traffic, but
so right. I know that's the thing.
All right, so here it is. It's you're in the title. You're invited to Han and Leia's wedding in Star Wars: The Princess and the Scoundrel exclusive reveal. We hope you attend when the new book by Beth Revis arrives this summer. And be ready to shoot yourself. We've seen the courtship of we've seen the courtship of Princess Leia unfold on screen. Now a new book cordially invites fans to attend the wedding of Leia Organa and Han. Valentine's Day, StarWars.com is thrilled to reveal Star Wars. Repeating. Set just after the events of Return of the Jedi. Story begins on the forest moon of Endor. Han proposes after a ceremony at the site. Halcyon Starcruiser, which we got some of this information from the Bounding into Comics article. And so the whole purpose of this article is a little interview. StarWars.com recently sat down with Revis to talk about her love for Leia, how her husband helped refine the dialogue for Han Solo, and the power of love amid the chaos of a galaxy at war. Even though this is rather funny, and I know, again, I had to kind of be reminded how these people don't give two craps about the EU, what was already built and expanded upon. But this was already done up through the courtship of Princess Leia. The book is fantastic, even if you want to be kind of lazy and go for the audiobook, which is also awesome. Sadly abridged, but the whole great thing about that is that it is some EU content. It's also not just jumping right into it. There we go. Got you back. Oh, you're
awesome.
There we go.
I think every time you share something that has to do with Disney, it just kicks me out.
Anyway.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're good. Yeah. So going into this, so you said you had some notes on this.
Yeah, so it's either this article or the article before. I don't know if it's this one, but yeah. So it's like Beth Reeves. It says when asked by Beaver, whatever, how she approached the story, Reeves answered, "My initial instinct was to focus on Return of the Jedi, since the book picks up right after it. But as I dug into the story, I found myself watching The Empire Strikes Back on repeat." Then she goes on. The emotional beats of Han and Leia's relationship start to spin out in the Empire, in Empire. I apologize. Not just the famous "I know" line, but it's the way Leia relates, how she doesn't trust Lando, and Han responds with seriousness. The way their trust builds, all the moments that lead up to their confession of love. And I read that, I'm like, you idiot! Leia confessed, not Han. Han affirmed it, but she's the one who confessed first.
Yeah.
And then Reva states, it's the reason why the relationship works. What? Did you not read Did you not watch Force Awakens? Like, I did. And there's, so that was one. I'm like, how does explain to me how that relationship worked. Don't worry, I'll wait. Like,
No.
And then, so that's the one thing. And then it goes down. It says the time lapse between those two movies helped them both evolve so that they're on the same page by the time Han is unfrozen. Does she not realize that he was like a wall ornament in Jabba's palace? Like he was frozen? Like what evolving is he doing?
I'm sure he was doing a lot of thinking while he was in there.
I mean, number two, and then it says in another moment of what in the so I love the writer of this. He's like, in another moment of what in the world are you thinking? Rivas discusses how hard Han and Leia had to work to stay in love.
Right. Now, yeah.
And then it says one thing I love about the new movies is that Leia
you love how in the new movies they completely destroy the relationship entirely, turning Han into a complete deadbeat dad who just clearly fucks off, goes back to his smuggling ways, abandons his family.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Leia tries to lead the Republic, and then the First Order blows up a major planet. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Like Han pisses off to whatever planet he's smuggling spice on, and Ben has daddy issues. And
some sort of issues, yeah.
Yeah, but then she's got the audacity to say one thing that I love about the new movies is that Leia and Han don't actually end up in the idyllic, perfect family life that we like to think of as a happily ever after. Instead, they have to work for decades to remain in love, and they
only for it to end up in a
to consistently choose to make that happen. And then I put Force Awakens. What?
Right.
So, and we can go on and on, and but it's did you read the books? Did you read 4, 5, and 6? Did you do any research prior to this interview? Because you sound like just an idiot that knows nothing about anything.
This is at least the way. I mean, I'm even like, did she even watch the new movies that she's claiming?
No, like,
did she actually pay attention to what went on? I mean,
she said I watched them on repeat. Empire Strikes Back. I watched them on repeat. So you are aware that Homeboy Han got frozen in carbonite.
Well, I think she's probably trying to go on about before he got frozen in carbonite and their whole lead up to her confession and him saying I know, blah blah blah. So that's I think where it's supposed to be. She's supposed to be talking about the whole Han kind of changing character, or just like she said, evolving the character. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be pre-carbonite is what she's getting with that one. And again, he's been dropped. So, as I was also kind of going into earlier, Courtship of Princess Leia book. Oh, he's back again. Is your fat thumb like hitting a switch or something?
Yeah, probably. Or Disney's just pissed that we're talking about this. One of the two.
I hope so.
Yeah. So I mean, that was just it's a great article. Not really. I mean, it was a good article to prove just the stupidity that Disney is just driving.
This is the thing, it wasn't even that. Excuse me. It wasn't even within like the. I know. They don't
What are you
care
about
about
to
this.
say?
It's just it gets me. It's like even within the expanded universe, what was built on after the fact, it wasn't even like they got married immediately. There was some time because I mean they were still dealing with remnants of the Empire. They were having Thrawn and stuff like that. That might have come after. I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, even prior, they're still dealing with remnants of the Empire that they're trying to reestablish the Republic. Funny.
Well, even in the comic book, the book that we were reading. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But then you get the courtship of Princess Leia for within that book. It's like, it's this. There's been some time, and they've even been apart, doing separate missions, doing separate things, getting the galaxy at least to a stable point. And there's been some time apart, and even within that, he kind of has to rededicate and kind of reignite the fire between the two, because there's been a little that's kind of toned down. But that's where that book really builds upon that, and not only in not just that, it's also we get some new lore established with it. We're not just hanging out on Endor. We're on a new planet, Dathomir.
Right.
We're getting introduced to the Night Sisters, and these weird dark side using witches.
Right.
It's giving us all this new extra content, while then you've got the side plot too of this little love triangle going on between Han, Leia, and I'm at the moment blanking on the third. But that's just it. It's just, and he's Han's doing everything he can to essentially win Leia back. And then, even after that, once they are, together, there's still a lot of shit going on.
Right.
You do have the reemergence of Palpatine causing trouble. And everything. And even at a point, he comes back again, tries to body jack their youngest kid, Anakin. It's their whole time is, and then it's just so Han is doing his thing, Leia is still trying to rebuild the Republic, while at the same time or on the side training to be a Jedi from Luke and at the same time her kids Jason and Jaina Solo are off training. There's a lot of it's kind of a broken-ish family, but they're doing what they can, but there's problems. It's all been already there. The rest of us were already used to all this crap. It's just like stupid, tedious stuff to go through all over again when we already have great content for it.
So let me ask you this: is the book? So you're reading this one, and I'm not, because I'm currently reading the Bounty Hunter series.
I need to start. I need to start it. I haven't started it yet, but I've only gone through the abridged audiobook.
Okay, highly recommend the actual the books. I got the first chapter. Oh, so amazing. But
you were going through the Bounty Hunter, right?
Yeah, book one. But on this book that you're reading, because I obviously follow you on Instagram, so I think you posted a picture of it. Do you recommend this book? Is it good so far?
Oh, I'd always, I don't. Any of the books I'm picking up, I'll always recommend for sure.
I knew that. I was
Tatooine
testing you,
Ghost,
but
Book of
yeah.
the Bounty Hunter Awards, which I will try and find and get that trilogy too.
I'll let you borrow if you can. I'll borrow them because I
also
picked them up.
remembered another good trilogy of books, which is
Bang.
but again, I went besides Bane.
Yes.
No, and excuse me. You even see elements in the movie Solo, but they did do a trilogy of books for Han Solo, and those are really good. And
Really?
I went through the abridged audiobooks, but then I'm gonna find that was another trilogy I remembered today. Oh yeah, I gotta start looking for those because those are another ones I'd want to read, get through, just again see all the stuff that was cut out. But it for abridged, and it's funny, like I said, there was elements that seemed to have been taken from those books and thrown in there, but very poorly, because it gives a little more insight, especially by the time once you kind of hit 2, 3, where Han is just like, you know what, I want nothing to do with rebellions or anything. Just keep me out of it. I'm just gonna do my smuggler thing,
right?
Piss off the Empire here or there. I want nothing to do with this rebellious crap. That's kind of, and you kind of get an understanding why he's at that point when you meet him in A New Hope. So yeah, I mean, I'd always recommend definitely getting and checking those out because
that'll be my next
definitely
book,
add much more. So
that'll be my next book.
Fun stuff.
Yes.
Shall we
get in the meat and potatoes of it?
Did we want to? Yeah, let's just get it. I was like, do we want to talk about Kenobi?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Your call.
I'm a little unfamiliar with this website, thedirect.com. Hopefully they're reliable. But I mean, this is stuff that we've also already heard about, at least some of it. But apparently there's been some leak spoils, major details about Darth Vader battle. So anybody that doesn't want to hear, you can plug your ears or, whatever.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. So according to this article, Disney and Lucasfilm are set to continue their venture into live action storytelling, like we know, in the Star Wars universe with Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, May 2022, this year. Obviously, already teased to feature the rematch of the century between the Jedi Master and his former Padawan, Darth Vader. This limited show will give a new level of depth and emotion to McGregor's classic hero. But we didn't need that. No. We had the prequel trilogy, and there was the book Kenobi that did that all perfectly. And again, I know I think I've already said this before, but that's all they had to do. Adapt that book.
Yeah.
Adapt that book. You would have had a great story. And yeah, it added that extra that, Kenobi dealing with not only hiding himself, but dealing with what happened between him and Anakin, because that was a big wound to him.
Yeah.
So, plenty of the story.
They screwed the. They screwed the. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Disney already screwed the pooch, because when you go on, for those of if you have Disney Plus, there's a trailer of it, and it's a female. I forget her name, but she's one of the director, whatever she does, thumb in her butthole, whatever. Talks about bringing, and I always butcher his name, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
bringing him back, and then touching on, like the battle, like you were mentioning, and then even Ewan McGregor talks about it a little bit. I'm like, Ewan, you're supposed to keep a secret, and not even don't bend the knee. But so it's just it's like, why are we even watching it?
Yeah, so
read the book.
Exactly. Plenty of the story will focus on new characters and actors joining the Star Wars narrative. Now, this is also what scares a lot of people, because it's like, what is this going to mean? Because Kenobi is supposed to keep low key. The whole Empire is hunting him, is hunting the Jedi, any remnants that are left of them, they are trying to exterminate. Why would he want to involve himself too much more?
Right.
Which will utilize a combination of classic story beats with plot points never explored before. However, the headliner is still Obi-Wan versus Vader matchup, one that started the whole franchise in Episode 4: A New Hope, and fully came to life in the prequel trilogy more than a decade ago. And again, with just pointing out, A New Hope within that dialogue already screws with all of this that they're trying to do with this show.
Right.
Because
well, and again, for the I bought the book and I started it, and then I kind of stopped to switch back over to the Bounty Hunter series. But even to your point, I think the book touches on it. Obi-Wan needing to stay in kind of isolation and seclusion, and so it just it doesn't make. So what's the point of the show then? Well, I guess what's the point of having that fight scene between him and Vader?
Right. No, that's exactly it.
So,
anyway, where were we? While Hayden Christensen is confirmed to reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker and Vader in this series, it's unclear how big of a role the battle will play in the show or how often they will face off against one another, which shouldn't be at all. But
yeah, to your point, but that's why that trailer on Disney Plus was they show him lightsaber, like he's training with a lightsaber. So
yeah,
that would lead you to believe that there is going to be some type of. I mean, this is how stupid Disney is. That leads you to believe there's going to be some fight scene of some sort. Because if there wasn't, why is he literally doing lightsaber? Why is he training?
Which could be. I mean, unless it was supposed to be, showing him fighting other people.
Yeah, I get maybe, but I'm not going to give Disney that credit.
Okay, so now it says now a new report is hinting that this fight may not be just a one-time thing. Oh boy. LRM Online revealed that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus will feature 2 separate battles between Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader. While no details were shared about when or how these fights will add to the story, they are teased as being 2 of the best battles in Star Wars history. For all the new and exciting plot points being delivered, Obi-Wan Kenobi, nothing seems to be more exciting than the confirm. I don't know how anybody would. I mean, I guess it's just for us hardcores that are just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
After Obi-Wan and Anakin's story served as the driving force behind Episode 1 through 3, seems only fitting that they'll be facing off more than once in McGregor's solo series. Thus far, most of the plot for Obi-Wan Kenobi is still shrouded in mystery. Okay, so that's like it was. It's kind of my first time really reading through this, and this is kind of more fluff on. Hey, guess what? We're gonna have Vader and Obi-Wan fight when they shouldn't be during this time period. I mean, the only thing that ended up coming to mind was that they're gonna redo the scene between Vader and Obi-Wan, but with McGregor.
No.
And it just came to mind. It just came to mind that would be a possibility.
I never thought about that.
It just, like I said, it just popped in my brain. I'm like, oh my God, that could be one of them.
You're gonna ruin iconic scene. I mean,
yep.
Though I will say this, and it was the video that you sent me. It was the reimagined fight scene that was done by a fan.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Yeah,
but,
I mean it added a lot of the extra flash and stuff that the sequel trilogy introduced with the lightsaber fights. It looks really cool.
Right.
At the same time, I've come to appreciate the more simple fight between Kenobi and Vader in that moment.
You bring up a good point.
Just them challenging each other, and they're supposed to be, basically at the top of their game, each one of them.
Yeah.
So them being more methodical and, kind of feeling each other out. I mean, it's like Obi-Wan's kind of stepping into some unknown territory with Vader. He doesn't know if he's fighting that much differently than he was as Anakin.
Right.
So, I understand a lot more why that can be. And, it was, yes, for the time they didn't quite have the choreography that they were planning until later, but you can at least look at it in that context of these are two masters of their styles, and also old friends. They know how each other fight, but at the same time, they spend some time. So
I'll say this. I still, if Sir Allen Guinness was still, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with him in the back of an alley. So, I mean, but you brought up a good point. They have to be if they redo that scene, they have to be very careful, because there is, and I can't believe I'm even going to say the potential, but they could screw up everything if they redo that fight scene.
10-1, they'll make it like that fan edit, but it'll be less. It won't be as good.
Oh, I was going to say
as the fan edit.
There. Yeah. But I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I brought up a good point. That's what they're probably going to do.
Wouldn't surprise me none.
Okay.
All right. Should we get into Mandalorian now?
Think so, yeah.
Okay. I'll admit it was I was like, okay, I gotta sit and watch this. It's been a while.
Watch it this
but
morning?
I tried rewatching it a couple of mornings ago, or a morning or two ago, to start, and I did start taking some notes, and then I just kind of was like, ugh.
Right.
I don't really want to right now. So I did it this morning.
Yeah.
I got a couple of pages of notes.
Nice.
I
did that.
Almost
I think
3.
I did the same thing.
So I don't know. Part of me was kind of struggling because I was like, I don't. Yeah, I looked at this show as being kind of mediocre, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, I was like, I would have been rather watching replays of some live streams and stuff.
No, yeah.
So I mean, I kind of was going about this too. Like I was trying to look at it like watching it for the first time, and I kind of felt like I did because I had forgotten a lot of this.
Right.
Not a lot of this stuff sticks with you.
Well, I actually, and I like I think it's kind of interesting that I'm going through the Bounty Hunter series now, because now
you have some extra stuff to reference.
100%. I got more canon that I can lean on. So I will say that is that's a benefit. But yeah, it's reading the book brings this whole, even like the first, it brings it in a new light. So I'm curious as I go through these books. I'm even more curious to see how I'm going to view it now versus when I first watched this whole thing. So
getting from the beginning of it, I just kind of made the note, Mando busting out the quote unquote fob that has no map reticule, just beeps in a general direction and gives no indicator of where one should be going other than beep, 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 beep. That's just like the one thing is like, really? That's your tech for trying to find these guys?
You gotta stop one upping me on your notes here, because I wrote Mando holding the fob, trying to see where he parked his car. I think
that would have been more appropriate, right? For
parked his Razor Crest, but but I like yours a lot better.
See, it's like even with the Bounty Hunter game with that featured Jango Fett that was on the PS2 and GameCube. Even in that game, you basically did some detective work to find people.
Right. He just got his fob and he's looking around
where's like any of this? This would have been kind of the thing. Have him be I'd hate to say, get his Batman on, but that's kind of what people would go to for thinking of like a great detective type. Yeah. Right now, instead of like say Sherlock Holmes or something, but it's like you don't. I understand wanting to have a cool intro. Okay, you don't have to have him using the little device. Just have him walk in. He's already dug up his information. He's good to go. he's ready to, go in and get this guy. Fine. But you have him specifically pull out this little device that is clearly, meant to be part of this whole bounty hunting shtick.
Yeah.
Why? It's like, come on, give us do a little more, do better. Come on.
Like, what is he looking for? He's looking out to like just Nowheresville.
It's just out in the snow.
Like, are you looking for a popsicle stand? Like, what do you like? So. And then we jump down to the iconic. I'm not gonna say iconic, but the cantina scene, right?
Yeah. Well, I was like, does the setup of lone gunman moseying into town to find his bounty? Group of Huttese speaking goons beating up a fishy looking guy. At least they hadn't forgotten Huttese was a language to use for gangsters and outer rim people.
I forgot. I did. Yeah, the Huttese. I wrote Baldilocks in the Quarren roughing up the grouper fish, aka Mithril, threatening to sell him to the sushi masters.
So Mando walks in, definitely giving off his OG Boba vibes. As then the goons begin to mess with him, asking if what he's wearing is Beskar. So apparently that's common, even though the Mandalorians have been pretty much wiped out and everything. But hey, some things we remember, other things we forget, like Jedi.
Right. Or I'd put Baldilocks is let's see here. Mando appears. Baldilocks isn't having it with Mando because Baldilocks spilled his own beer, or I spilled his own Jawa juice and felt the need to stroke his ego and pick a fight with Mando.
Yep.
But and then Mando proceeds to GSP on him. Go GSP on him.
Yeah, in a quick moment of action, Mando tears the goons apart, even getting the Quarren cut in half by the door after shooting the lock.
Okay, so I just put Mando proceeds to go GSP on him. Grouper fish pulls a Felicia. Mando uses his grapple shot. Grouper is like, you'll never take me alive. Shoots at Mando. Mando fires back. Hits the door controls. Cuts Grouper in half like a sushi roll. No pun intended. Here's the thing though. I think. What did you like? What were your thoughts on that door scene?
I mean, it is cool. He cuts the dude in half with the door.
You would never have seen anything that violent in the Book of Boba. I'll just throw that out there.
We did get that. We just got it with Mando, though.
Well, I guess okay. Let me retract my statement.
Got him cutting the guy in half with the dark saber.
You would never see Boba in the Book of
apparently
Boba.
we wouldn't have gotten Boba doing anything on that level. It seems.
Mando's just like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, this is a funny thing. It's like they're trying to set the tone, right? Of he's a quiet badass that'll mess you up in every way possible to get the job done.
Right.
But it takes some goofy directions after this. But I had down Mando approaches Fish Boy, puts down the bounty puck for his bounty. Mando gives the ultimatum: I can bring you in warm or cold. So again, we're getting his note. He's not a guy to mess around with. He's gonna take you in one way or another.
Right.
And they're set, and then they can't have this last too long. But we get then also his dislike of droids.
Yes.
Because he's like Mando requesting a speeder and is adamant about absolutely no droids, even pays more for a non-droid driver. So it's they bounce on this. It's like he hates droids, but then later he'll work with a droid.
Who's apparently an old friend, mind you. After just 2 episodes, 2
yeah.
Said walking to the Anteater, aka Garridan, for passage to the yards. The Garridan plays this old skin flute, summons speeder pilot by R2's distant cousin. Mando's like, no goods. And then you get the Garridan does another blow of the skin flute, summons Uber speeder driver, speeds them to Mando's ship.
Yeah, we get the first look at the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
Which again, we don't like to name ships. Apparently, we just go by what their make is.
Yeah.
So after,
but you will change.
So
yeah.
yeah, so then also, just after I had down, just after the driver warns about staying off the ice in goofy fashion, he is then eaten by under the ice beast.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you saw that is like the whole setup, right? What? Stay off the ice, yada. And he drives off, and we keep watching him, and you're like, okay, we know what's gonna happen,
right?
Even
Well,
without having watched, it's like, okay,
yeah, you're like, he's about to get got. It's like watching one of the Halloween movies, and the dude goes into the basement. I'm like, why are you going to the basement, guy?
yeah,
you're gonna die. But yeah, it's let's see here. It's like getting ready to blow the popsicle stand. Ravnik, I don't know, is hungry. Decides to choose the Razor Crest out of the 6 or so ships to choose from. Found that, just interesting.
6 or so ships.
It wasn't there 5 or 6 ships that were around his ship.
I only saw his, but there could have been.
When they were, I think, as they were.
I only noticed when the guy got eaten, and then then it came for his ship next.
Yeah, ironically, and then Mando decides to use it. So they're trying to take off, and decides to just take a bite out of the ship.
And Mando uses his taser-like gun to get the beast off his starship.
Yeah,
and we're blasting off.
But, yeah, and so then there's the awkward dialogue.
Yeah, I said this. I said awkward conversation commences between Fishy Boy and Mando as Mando stays silent.
Yeah, it would have been appropriate, but Fish Boy and himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they said Grouper has to evacuate.
Yeah, then we get the bowel movement joke.
Yeah,
whatever little shtick.
That's but then I had put what I wrote. He goes snooping and gets frozen into carbonite.
Oh, what I had to laugh though is they drop a Life Day mention as he searches the containment of a bunch of carbonite captures. Apparently, I didn't realize that just within that time that they had perfected carbonite freezing.
Yeah,
and now it's portable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even in the Bounty Hunting Wars books, it describes Boba Fett's ship Slave One having cages and stuff to hold people.
Not your.
You didn't have any portable freaking carbonite.
Well, that's why they had that. Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous. It's just now this thing when Empire, right? They're on Bespin. That's the most crudest device that they came up to freeze somebody in carbonite. This thing is massive.
Yeah, and even though Lando was saying it's still experimental, it's not 100%. But 5 years later, or whenever hold on. This is supposed to take 5 years after the fall of the Empire, yeah? Yeah.
So how many more years?
Yeah, 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
So have they been trying to perfect this from when they froze Han to
I guess. Well, they say so. Not only did they originally have a massive device in a special room for the whole thing, but they managed to then perfect it so much they have a portable small version of carbonite freezing. All right.
It looked like he was getting a spray tan. And then he's just frozen.
Yeah. And he's locked in.
I just it's just irritating. I'm because it just iconic, man. Iconic scene. Empire, Bespin, Cloud City, right? In that room, which is massive. You got this whole thing coming down, you're getting, you're the in the process, you're getting frozen, and then this whole thing comes down and basically molds you. And that's the thing. So the scene that you see, he's just getting spray tanned, and then he's just mysterious. Then it cuts into he's now frozen in carbonite. Where's the God, you're just irritating. I just lost my mind. This thing is, like you said, just a shtick. I'm coin that.
One big shtick.
So I have a joke. Amando and a humanoid meet in the cantina.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Oh,
That's
okay.
literally what it was. The next scene. He's got Mando and a
Carl,
humanoid.
Carl Weathers, lead guy for turning in bounties, tried to pay Mando an M credits that are apparently no longer serviceable. So let me get this straight. You have this special bounty hunters guild that is apparently unable to pay in a proper method of credits that are current. On top of it, they don't even pay their own rates.
Right.
So again, it's like, why the fuck should I be dealing with you people if you aren't going to pay me properly? I mean, this is basically giving even more credence to the bounty hunting wars books, because like the whole thing is Boba's like, man, I ain't dealing with you people. I know I can get paid way better if I'm completely independent.
Right.
And this is like just only further going into that. It's like, why the hell should I be dealing with you people? You can't even properly pay me.
This is the bounty hunter guild, and it's like, who's running who? Like, are you running it or somebody else running it? Because they're not even paying you your rates.
That's just it, right? Like, we haven't gotten any kind of form of who's leading this whole bounty hunters guild thing, right? Because as far as we know, I forget his character, but I'll call him Carl Weathers.
He's
just an intermediary, right? He's just a guy giving out the freaking the missions and stuff for the bounties. Right. It's like, okay, but who do I have to go to actually get paid properly?
So it's like, is this Carl? I actually really like you just named him Carl Weathers. I had put his name Grief Karga, I believe is who he's called, but I actually think we should just call him Carl Weathers. Yeah, whatever his name is, but. Yeah, see, who, you get no type of, who's running it? Are you running it? I'm guessing,
and then he's like, oh, I'll give you some Mon-Cal credits. There you go.
But what do they call, calamari flan? Is this like a dessert?
Right.
Not to be disrespectful, but, it's just ridiculous.
But
he only pays him half.
I know.
You cheap, shystery bastard. And then you take it. You're like, okay, well, I'll just go and take these. And then these just, look like I'll take these dessert credits and eat them later.
Right. Oh, and then it's like I said, what's the purpose of this?
It's so funny. He asked for what's your most expensive bounty? And he's like, 5,000. He's like, well, I won't even paying gas. Or I'm sorry, fuel. Won't even paying nothing fuel. So it's like, who's how are you
apparently even though the Empire is gone, apparently inflation has hit the Star Wars galaxy.
Listen, here's the thing though. She did not cause inflation. I will stand by that. She did not cause inflation, so something else
she may have had a bit of an iron fist, but god dang it, did the galaxy run smoothly.
It did. It sure did. So all those people.
So I also had to laugh that we have bail jumpers in the Star Wars universe.
You
couldn't come up with some other term just to kind of mask it a little bit, but I guess bail jumpers is as clean cut as you're gonna get. I just couldn't help but find it a little funny.
It's almost as good as having marshals and deputies.
Right? That comes later.
Yeah. Almost
for now. Yeah. Anyway.
But then he needs more work.
Yeah, he's and Mando gets the special job, but with no puck. They really like their little bounty pucks.
Yeah. I wrote, Mando needs more work. Offer is not worth the weight in carbonite. The job is offered to Mando. Deep pockets. But yeah, they're pucks. They look like a miniature hockey puck.
They're little hollows. So then I kind of had to make the point, it's rather funny that you have the Imperials that are now using a Huttese speaking door droid. that little eyeball thing that pops out. They like. I'm like, okay, I guess the Empire has made some has lightened up a bit.
Yeah. Since the Hutts love Imperials so much, they loan them their eye droid.
I think Sheev knew better enough not to piss off the Hutts.
You think?
Those were you didn't want to piss because that's always been kind of my thing. Okay, so yeah, we get the stupid rebellion. They get pissed. They want to do their thing, but with the fact that you had Sheev that was doing his Sith side for so long during the Republic era. I think he learned enough that while you could have a big galactic empire, there's still you don't want to create dissidents. You don't want to create factions that are gonna come after you. So better to kind of let them play their own game out there in the Outer Rim, while he has his little kingdom to have his fun in. So that's why I've always thought of it as like he knew the limitations on things, on what there was a cooperation, maybe a silent agreement that they knew to kind of keep out of each other's territory as best as possible, and if their smugglers were caught, that was on the smugglers, and that's kind of what happens to Han at the end of his book, at the end of the book books, is that it kind of brings in his whole issue with Jabba and dumping the whatever he was transporting because of the Imperial embargoes and stuff. It's like, well,
sometimes we get boarded too.
Yeah,
sometimes I get boarded.
Yeah. So that's how I've always kind of looked at it.
Was she more afraid of like the Hutts?
I don't think it was afraid. It was just more like, I'm just gonna, because I mean he was a smart politician. He played the whole galaxy. I just think he knew that there was things that you wanted to put your boot on, and there was things where you're just kind of like, you know what? I'll be a little more hands off with these guys. Because I don't want to create problems. I like the way things are going right now.
He's very smart. He's very smart.
So but that's my own little headcanon there. As far as I know.
Where do we go? Where do we jump now?
We have my note was we have Imperial remnants. The stormtroopers' armor still has a shine to them, despite looking rusted, which I thought was rather funny. Like you could still see a glossy shine, but they were supposed to be trying to look rusted and worn and everything, but you could still see them looking plasticky and shiny.
Yeah. What did oh god, yeah, and this just came to my mind. Freaking Filoni's Clone Wars, where
god,
they call it shinies. Just popped in my head.
Oh
but,
god,
yeah.
Was that for like the new recruit, the new clones?
Yeah, shinies. I put Mando meets up with Dusty R Stormtroopers and Grandpa Pigeon Moff.
Yep, I had Mando gets into standoff with Stormtroopers for a brief moment. All because the nerd scientist guy walks in and he gets a little itchy.
Okay. I mean no disrespect. Sorry, not sorry, but I put Dungeon Master Doctor walks in and disturbs Mando. Blasters come out, standoff ensues, and then Grandpa Pigeon introduces Dungeon Master Doctor, asks to lower blasters.
Right.
And then Mando says, "Have them lower theirs first. Stormtroopers, we have you 4-1." And Mando's like, "I like
those odds." Yeah.
And then I had wrote, as a true Mandalorian should.
Well, this is true. I'll give it that.
Right. This is the only thing. The only thing I would agree with is like that. That should. Yeah. That's not even.
It was like. See, this is again where I'm like, they want to kind of have this serious tone, right? But then they'll interject other stupid little things,
Marvel humor,
offsets it. You can have some humor here and there for some levity and everything. I get it, but at least make it.
Are you saying maybe have like humor interjected like Lucas did in 4, 5, and 6?
A little bit, yeah. For some of that, yeah.
Some of the best humor came from like Han.
So the imp shows off the Beskar steel.
What did you call him?
I said the imp. I just short for Imperial because I didn't care to remember this guy's name.
Yeah. I like that imp.
The imp. The imp shows off the Beskar steel, only gives Mando a tracking fob that his target is 50 years old, keeping information minimal. Considering he doesn't do a whole lot of investigating anyways, you're really screwing the pooch with this one.
Yeah.
But apparently these magical fobs do all the work for you, so.
Yeah, maybe they just blink really fast.
Of all the things in the Star Wars, there's so many different tracking droids. He could have been deployed. Darth Maul used a goddamn tracking droid when he got on a Tatooine because he didn't know exactly where his targets were. But man,
3 of them, mind you.
Yeah, that's right. He had 3 of them that he set out and was trying to seek out in the best of proximity that he could to find who he was looking for.
You think you could have learned from Dathomirian?
Darth Maul managed to do better of a bounty hunting than the freaking Mandos.
He did. 100%. So you go from 3 tracking droids to a Prius key fob.
This is even more. This is even also the funny part. It's like we had this in games, and even in I'll be bringing this up forever in Star Wars Galaxies. For the bounty hunting class, you did use the tracking droids and other means of having to hunt out your bounties who were also could be players. So you had to do some extra stuff to get their location and everything. You weren't using some beep 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 beep. Oh, warm, hot, right? Sort of tracking devices. Is called. You had to hunt out these people, and you had to start going to different planets and all that sort of shit. It's like
your name is a bounty hunter.
Hunt.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
There's no hunt in this. It's just called. All right, it'll point you in a direction eventually.
Your name's not Prius key fob holder. It's a bounty hunter. Like, show some, I don't know, hunting ability.
Something, anything, please. It'd be appreciated.
God.
So after their little meeting, we get to see a Quakian monkey lizard on a spit roast.
You didn't want to touch on. So I kind of talked about when he goes and meets with the armorist.
Well, that was gonna be getting into the. So
I
we're getting into it. So I pointed out the monkey lizard on the roast was because of again kind of like this weird humorous thing because then you also had the monkey lizard in the cage.
Okay,
basically kind of having oh god, I'm next. Look.
I messed that up. That's on me.
Oh, don't worry about it. Mando goes into an underground area where there are a bunch of armor-wearing Mandalorians and goes to the armor maker. We get some quick flashbacks from Mando of parents stuffing him away during a siege. So that's where he's meeting up with the armorer and talking to her. That she gets the Beskar steel from him and just makes that shiny little shoulder pauldron for him.
Again, so this is where I guess the more that I go through the books, maybe it'll reveal it. I don't know, but this is my problem with it. So it's that Mando travels to underground city, whatever the Mandalorians, pretty much you said, and then sits down meeting with the Mando blacksmith. But again, the Mandalorians were I don't say race, but culture, however you want to put it, culture that was feared. So why are they hidden? I get that it's after.
Well, remember, we got from Book of Boba Fett, they did the whole flashback of showing the Imperials blasting them to holy hell. They're kind of keeping a little low key now after their whole city and planet was completely eviscerated by the Empire. So that's
more so
that explanation only came later,
right? So again, it doesn't do me justice.
But
now,
for right now, it's just kind of okay.
Well, that's why I was taking because I was trying to I know we did Book of Boba first, so I'm trying to go about this as I haven't.
I know, same here.
It's hard, but yeah. So, to your point, introduces Beskar to the armorist. What it says, Oh yeah, it says taken in the Great Purge. Don't know if that's canon. And then triggers a flashback of his what we would assume is childhood, and gets the pauldron.
Yep.
So,
so let's see. Yeah, Mando lands on planet, does some scouting, and is attacked by some creatures to be saved by an Ugnaught on a domesticated. What is he call? What do they call it?
blurgs.
Blurgs. Yeah,
I said
blurg.
I just said
Blurg.
I just said Mando spots 2 lizards. Oh, I said Mando travels to rocky planet. Fob goes off. His Prius must be nearby. Mando spots 2 lizards, blurgs, battles the 2, and then he meets the Ugnaught. I have
Battles.
spoken.
He gets trampled on until the Ugnaught comes along and saves him.
Well,
there's our Mandalorian for you.
That's a lot of riding. Okay, so I just put battles. But
I had Ugnaught offers to help Mando and tells him how he will get to his target and says he will need to ride a blurg in order to get where he's going. I'm like, okay. So we then do the little runabout of him trying to learn to ride the blurgs.
Yeah.
So then the Ugnaught I made a note speaks of Mandalorians riding mythosaur.
Yeah, is that like
I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know. I
tried to research it.
I'm guessing that's a Disney thing. I don't know.
Probably it's a
because the only thing I remember Mandalorians riding were the Basilisk war droids.
Yeah, why not
that's
say
what they
that? Why not
Yeah.
Why not say that? Oh, because it's too violent and Basilisk kill a lot of people. And this, well, you have a saying that you always say: glassed over continents.
Yeah.
So you go from a basilisk, which is again canon, to like mythosaur. Like I was like, it would have been so much better just to use the term basilisk. But again, this is what I put. Mando learns to become an 8-second blurg rider champion, and then Ugnaught tells him, "You're a Mandalorian. Your ancestors rode the great mythosaur." This is irritating.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is.
Did you pull it up?
Was a continent or two turned to glass?
Yes. A true Mandalorian.
Could always count on Candace.
Love Candace. He should run for president. Prime Minister.
Oh God. So what was it? Mythosaur. That little tidbit gives Mando the ability to creature handle and tame the blurg to ride.
Did he use the Force there?
I don't know. He just tapped into whatever the mythosaur taming required, and he apparently that was his little.
Listen,
his little kick in the butt to do just that.
I told myself I was really going to try to view this as I hadn't I hadn't seen Book of Boba, but I don't know. He's a Mandalorian. Tars Vista apparently was a Jedi. Man, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he's using the Force. I don't know.
That would not surprise me if he somehow does turn out to be a Force user, and he's going to be the new whatever Vizsla.
Don't do it because he already has the dark save. Don't do it. My blood pressure it's at a steady 10 right now. But
go ahead. Yeah, I was like, and I couldn't help but make the point. Of course, the path they took did not seem like they needed special mounts. Like from what it showed, it did not require these creatures, other than for the Ugnaught to go, "I'm gonna make you ride these goddamn things, because it's funny." And screw you.
The only thing they needed to get through that terrain?
You could have walked there.
Legs. That's the only thing you need.
Yeah.
Legs. Maybe carry the Ugnaught. Maybe he would have trouble like walking, I guess, because short problems. But you clearly could have walked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it's not this most anticlimactic.
He could have walked and just flown there.
Well, he didn't have his jetpack yet, right?
No, he hasn't gotten his jetpack yet.
But he can maybe use the Force to fly.
Yeah.
Jump.
So, Then the little Ugnaught repeats, "I have spoken." So we got our other little quotable thing there.
Yeah.
After he gives Mando the rundown of the area full of mercs that he says doesn't belong there, Mando does a bit of scouting and then sees an IG-88 droid.
Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for
What?
saying IG-88 because these
Oh, yeah.
bastards call it IG-11.
Did they call it IG? I thought he
No.
even said it like. Oh no, he just said it as an IG droid.
It's
didn't he?
IG, but like when you read, like you pull up on like some of these websites are calling IG-11. It's like it's IG-88. That's
Well,
the
I mean,
droid.
that's how. I mean, yeah, it's like I think that's even supposed to be like the model. It's the
it is.
IG-88 droid, and then there'd be like extra hyphens for like the other versions of the droids.
IG-88. Get it.
But
straight.
anyways, the IG-88 droid is just walking into town to also get the bounty. Mando goes up to the droid and says to stand down, gets shot, and he just so happens to hit his shoulder pauldron that he got made a Beskar.
Ironically,
right? I mean, wow, what luck!
maybe it's like
he gets hit right there.
You know, the common theme that I'm seeing throughout this show and even the Book of Boba is like Beskar is just a magnet for blaster fire.
Pretty much. I mean,
Maybe it absorbs it. But
it is both a magnet for it and at the same time the magic deflector of it. Because this is like
force field built in. Yeah,
right off.
I put Mando and IG team up to take on the assailants. At the 3149 mark, you can hear somebody yelling, "Booty, booty, booty," or you should pull it back up. I'm not joking. In the background,
wait, seriously?
Like, is it booty, booty? Yeah, is it booty, booty, booty?
Okay,
I could be wrong.
I gotta hear this. Hang on, let me pull up I have it still on my computer. Let's see. I gotta hear that.
At least it's what I heard. And maybe it's not exactly booty, 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 but it definitely sounds like
so. What do you say? The
31:49 minute mark of the
31:49.
Yeah. I back that to like 31 like 47 or something like that. It's like it's a Nico, whatever. Do you hear it?
I heard it.
Yes.
Hang on,
it gets better though. It gets better. But and then oh god, what did I write it? Oh, and then so then I wrote IG is like I'm not getting captured. I'm gonna blow myself up and take all you bastards with me. And then Mando is like bad plan, let's not cover me. And then jump to 32:37. Jump to 32.
Let me pull this up and tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No.
Damn it.
Okay, you got to figure out a way to play it, though.
Huh?
You got to figure out a way to get the sound because it's hilarious.
Dang it. Yeah.
Does it not let you share it?
I don't know. I don't know with sharing the file.
That's
like
fine.
That.
But go down to so you can listen to it again. So go down to 32:37 mark because you're gonna hear it again.
32:37.
Yeah, do like 32:35.
32. Oh wait, I was at 33. My bad.
Yeah, 32.
Hang on, 32. 35.
Yeah, dude, you should hear it again.
I completely missed that when I was watching.
Yeah.
That sounds so funny.
I'm not as sick. I promise you, I'm not sick. But as I'm like, I just hear this dude yelling booty, and then I wrote somebody give him the booty.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what my problem was. Hang on. All right. So I'll at least try and get this. 32, 30. All right. So
one was the 31:49 and then 32:37.
here's the 32:35 spot. Oh, you stupid thing. Knock it off. Come on. All right. Did you hear that really quick?
Let's see. You play it?
Yeah.
No.
Ah, darn it. Oh, well.
It's not going to do it. All right. Well,
I'll have to figure that out for
figure it out, but it's hilarious. Probably the highlight of the whole episode. There's a dude just yelling at, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh God!
So-
Thank you for catching that, 'cause I had no idea.
Yeah.
That one was just. I was just more like focused on the other stuff
The
going on.
other, yeah, the gunfight and everything. And
Yeah, because like I said, the shoulder pull during the shootout in the little town takes place as the IG droid and Mando tries to make it to their bounty. Then they do the repeated joke of the droid wanting to initiate self-destruct.
yeah.
I said droid wants to initiate self-destruct that gets turned into a gag.
Yeah.
Then with the again, this is a funny thing. He was so adamant in the first part of the episode of no droids.
And then you
But
find
here
him,
he is.
yeah.
Here he is willing to work with the droid. Now, granted, it's for potentially, I guess you could say selfish means or whatever, but
Right.
he's still doing so.
Right.
You're already kind of compromising that characteristic a little bit by, doing that. At
Yeah.
least unless I'm wrong here, but I'm just like, sorry.
It's just funny. Just going back and forth.
Yeah. Well, this is again, they lack consistency. So I said with the IG droid, he uses as a distraction. Mando quickly snags the guy off the blaster cannon that he then jumps onto and blasts everything that they couldn't hit before. Because apparently that cannon was magical.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much the same thing. I said they bring in the big guns. IG really wants no part in this. Keeps wanting to blow himself up. Mando grapple shots the M61 Vulcan, and goes full Rambo on them.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much
then
it,
IG's like, "Well played. I'll stay with you."
Right.
And then it's like this next part is like it's so stupid. It's like Mando to IG, you good? He's like, that blaster shot was pretty nasty. You good? Like,
yeah,
he's a freaking droid guy.
A, he's a droid. B, I thought he didn't like droids. So why is he bothering asking?
And 3, he's an IG-88 droid. You think that they're probably able to withstand a couple, I don't know. Just
but
it's more so irritating because, like, to your point,
he's suddenly caring about a droid when in the beginning of this episode, he beat the shit out of some randos in a bar that, yes, we're starting to start some shit with him, but he beats the shit out of him and then tears a dude in half.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do that, did he? No, the guy was running away. He could have just let him go. He wasn't a bounty. So he's not going to give a shit about this guy's life that he decided to cut in half.
He's really proven Boba's point that everybody we all grow soft in our old age.
He's going to care about this droid that he just partnered up with out of the blue on a whim. And he's like, oh, hey, you okay?
Yeah. You good, man?
You good,
Pretty
bro?
nasty.
Oh God.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the next part where they got obviously get in through the door? And
they use the. I said they uses the blaster cannon to get into the door where their bounty is. And then he says, "Not so bad for a droid."
So now you pay him a compliment.
Yeah, now he's complimenting him too. So he's
I'm on to you, Mando. I'm on to you, Pascal. You little rascal.
So yeah,
this whole next scene, man, like they blasted the door.
What did I have here? We get our first look at the baby. The droid says it has orders for termination. So apparently he got different orders than what Mando got. Because the Imperial was like, we want it back alive. But we know how your business is. If need be, it can be cold. It can be dead. But we prefer it. We want it alive.
I almost got I was under the impression, or from when Grandpa Pigeon Moff was like, was almost like, I'd rather it be dead. But Dungeon Master Doctor,
that was you kind of got that, but it was like, because the doctor guy was like, no, that's not what we agreed upon,
right?
because he was like, no, we were supposed to get it alive, so
Whatever. So
and then yeah, like I said, the droid apparently had termination orders specifically because it wasn't even like, oh, we got it alive, cool, let's bounce, bro. No, it was a full on. I'm gonna shoot this little bastard now because I got termination orders.
yeah. I get no consistency. So who gave what? Who's giving the orders? Is it Grandpa Pigeon Moth? Is it the Bounty Hunter Guild? Not Guild? The Carl Weathers? Was he like, hey?
From my understanding is that they were handed out the what was it, like little chip or whatever, little scannable Q code, QR code, whatever. But yeah, that was the thing, that was the show. I'm here for this job.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seemed like it was the Moff that was, or I think he was.
Was he a
Moff?
What? I say that we don't even know what he is.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But no, it seemed like, they were recruiting plenty of people, although according to the little Ugnaught, tons of them had died already.
Right.
So there was
during the long journey to the encampment.
Either the long journey or once they got to the town, they were killed there by all the goons.
No, that journey seemed pretty treacherous. I bet you the rocks killed them.
Well, no, he said he helped all of them.
Oh, well.
So he helped all of them get there. They just didn't make it back.
Maybe he killed. You can't trust an Ugnaught.
I wouldn't.
Bastards. Yeah,
I wouldn't. Those ugly little bastards.
Yeah.
We saw what they did to. They were just little trash demons.
Okay, they remind me of raccoon. They remind me of raccoons, little trash pandas.
Well, if you remember Empire Strikes Back, that's all they were doing was sifting through the garbage.
Yeah. Ugh.
Bastards. But then it was the droid says it. The termination orders. Meanwhile, Mando shoots the droid and has the beginning little moment with Grogu there.
Right.
Honestly, it probably would have been better if they'd ended it right with that blaster shot. That would have been like, that stinger.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did he kill? I mean, you would have known he didn't kill the little creature.
For sure.
But it would have certainly at least been kind of that hook of, oh, what happened?
Well, I found it interesting. I don't know the full anatomy of the IG-88 droid, but I would assume, how many eyes do you think and sensors do you think this droid has? And for him just to pull out a blaster and shoot him in the side of the head, is that how realistic? This thing's head spins. So how realistic?
Well, considering what he was doing in that town, when he was doing in the town and shooting up everybody in the town, all that.
He was doing a better spin move than Cyclops in the Book of Boba. I gotta really try hard not to bring up Book of Boba. I really want to do this run, but it's so hard.
Hey, it's all going off of this stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
his spin move
again,
served
that
a purpose.
Inconsistent character traits that
Yeah.
they don't want to stick to.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh. He's just standing right there. The droid was more focused on
probably
on killing Grogu than it was on Mando, because as far as it knew, it was having they had a partnership for that time being, and they were going to split the reward.
Whatever
or the Beskar. Mando probably would have taken the Beskar and went, peace out.
What do you think a droid would spend money on credits on?
I imagine starship stuff to fly around and everything. So that would be it. I mean, if it's but I mean, otherwise, I don't know how much independence this particular droid has.
Yeah. I find it interesting. Yeah, but you got to mention the whole ET phone home finger scene between.
Okay, so I was trying to put something to that. I was like, this is like something I know it is. but it just wasn't coming to my brain, and that's probably about as close as the whole ET sort of.
For those of you that have seen
Ouch.
ET, if you're not old enough, then I don't know what to tell you. Go watch that movie. Traumatized me as a kid, by the way.
Did it really?
Oh yeah, traumatized me. Can't do it. Hate ET. So I have a yeah. Oof. Anyways,
okay. Let's not go down the dark path.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's
so rewatching it.
Yeah.
Has anything changed for you? Like watching it for the first time, and then going to Book of Boba, now rewatching it. I know it was a long time. Do you see it in a different light now, or is it still the same mediocre?
Like I said, at least rewatching it now. Yeah, I kind of had a little. I looked at it a little differently. I saw a little more of what they were kind of trying to set up for the Mandalorian,
right?
And what kind of setting and the way they were wanting it to be, kind of, I don't know, themed as, because like I said, themed as kind of like the guy that comes into town, gets his bounties and goes, or just kind of, the lone wanderer type, going from planet to planet sort of thing. And it sets them up, and like it is. The best part is that whole beginning scene with the cantina fight and chopping the dude in half, which we kind of get a retelling of that just with the Darksaber,
right,
in Boba. But it's trying to get this whole thing across, while at the same time just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I get it was a decent enough first pilot. I remember first watching it going, yeah, this is okay. It's not the best thing in the world, but again, with what we were already surrounded with, even at that time, still, it was like, we'll give it a chance. We'll see where the rest of this goes. But I mean, like I remember telling you, I had no desire to watch this.
No, yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that I, just knowing, hey, I gotta keep up with certain things just so I can talk to people,
right?
Because all I'll talk about is old shit.
Right.
Not everybody wants to talk about old shit. So
well,
I'm like, okay, I'll check this.
Yeah,
out.
You and I are cut from the same cloth, and we can talk about old Star. Like, I don't even want to say old Star Wars, but like we can talk about canon, and it's enjoyable. But like, so we're on the same page. But then it's like, there's so many people that like this stuff. And that's the biggest, like, I guess, gap that I don't know how.
I mean,
and it probably has to do with because like I am a purist when it comes to like canon and George Lucas, and I don't know, man. But there is a lot of people.
This is the way one way I could possibly look at it is that we look at it from a more questioning eye.
Yeah,
we pay attention. We pay attention to what's going on. We aren't just mindlessly. I mean, there are things that you can just mindlessly watch and just kind of shut your brain off. But there are then other things, generally like this, that you're supposed to pay attention to, watch the story, see how it plays out, what takes place, yada yada yada. So, and that, I mean, for a lot of us, that's what it's always been about. We've paid attention to the 6 movies, George Lucas's full-on story. We paid attention to it. We know about it. We know what is going on. All that fun stuff. So, but for everybody else, they're just the cat. I hate to use consumer, but that's what they are. They're just the casual consumers of media.
Right.
They don't care. They just want more. Gimme. So to them, it's very easy to just kind of eat this stuff up. But again, they don't go back and rewatch the stuff. I didn't. The only reason why I'm going back and rewatching this is because I thought it would be a good thing to use for us to talk about.
No, for sure.
And I definitely wanted to rip into some episodes.
Right.
So,
But so does that so like, I'm not saying that like the show didn't specifically reference Baby Yoda, but that has become a thing. So does that now justify them for using the term Baby Yoda? Because Lucas himself did an interview and said, I specifically, like, I will find the clip and I'll send it to you so you can post it. But he said, I specifically did not really like give him a species. Yoda was just supposed to be this mysterious character.
Yeah.
So when you say like Baby Yoda, like, are you just like, are you so irritated? Like, how can you do this?
I think just for at least originally marketing purposes, that was the easiest term to go with, and that was basically what everyone was already calling it anyways, was Baby Yoda, because it looked like Yoda, and it does. So it's what you'd imagine Yoda would look like as a baby.
It doesn't have Yoda's nose, so you can't say it looks like Yoda. You know? No, so I think
nor his appetite apparently.
I don't know. I never saw. I saw Yoda eating bean soup in his head. This little
bastard just keeps eating everything.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw Yoda at one time eat freaking frogs. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think that's the biggest gap of mine, and I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole. But yeah, it's like trying to understand where these I guess children of the mouse are, like, not that I'd ever want to, but I do try to say like how, like, where are you coming from? Like, how can you? I don't know. Maybe I'll just die in my old ways.
It feels that way, right? Like,
yeah. So,
I guess I'm just, I'm stuck in my ways. They're stuck in theirs. All right, fine.
But do you notice that though? Like, you and I, like, do you see like there's a lot of people out there that are like,
it's always
children
funny.
of the mouse.
It's always
even
funny.
where we live.
Well, it's always funny talking to some people because I'll go into it. I'll get into it. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell it the way I see it. And some people do rebuttal back a little bit, but then they just end up eventually after time they're just like, "Oh, you're just so cynical."
Right.
I'm like, that may be true, but I like to also look at it as, I'm trying to. It's like I'll say I don't want to hate on this, but it's just what pops out.
It's the only option you have. But you find it interesting.
It's just what pops out to me. I mean, we've had so much time of good content from the video games, from George Lucas's movies,
right,
and the books and the comics, and it's like, now you're telling me I'm supposed to enjoy this plate of shit when I've had like a buffet of prime rib and all sorts of goodies. It's like, how am I supposed to reduce myself to this, and to bow to, oh well, it's new it's the quote unquote lore. No, I don't care.
Do you ever find yourself, like, when you get into an argument or a debate with the children of the mouse, they have absolutely no leg to stand on? And I told you, I had this conversation at work where somebody had made the comment that, like, Mandalore wasn't a title, that it was a planet. And then they got into the whole, like, Bo-Katan was the first one that had the dark, like, just this week, and it's like,
they've been contradicted now thanks to the Book of Boba Fett.
But do you find that, like, when you like, okay, I'll dialogue with it, I'll have a dialogue with this the child of the mouse, but like, they have no evidence to present and they have no leg to stand on.
No,
so therefore it's just usually. Like, well, no, you're wrong.
What happens?
George Lucas wasn't a person and he never lived, and Star Wars is just Disney.
What's funny is that they kind of get that deer in the headlights look of like, oh wow, this is somebody that's actually, saying something negative about the current Star Wars product, when you think most people will be used to that. But no, it's like they're almost kind of a little shocked and bewildered that it's like, oh.
But then when you bring up canon, or like, like, for instance, like Mandalorian being a planet and a title, they're like, well, that's your truth, not mine. What? It's like, what did you just say to me?
Yeah, like, no, I've even, what's funny though is I've even encountered some people where they're like, they'll bring up some of the rumor mill stuff of how there's been the whole thing flying around of, oh, they're gonna retcon the story, they're gonna retcon the sequel trilogy, yada yada yada. And I've even caught people by surprise when I'm like, no, they freaking won't. Do you
Right.
really think the mouse is going to admit they did something wrong?
I think
We're
I know the
stuck with
article.
this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Because like some people are now starting to finally come around and go, yeah, maybe the sequel trilogy wasn't that great. And I go, and we're stuck with that.
Right.
We're
Some
stuck
people
with
are
it.
like, oh, Snoke's the greatest dark Sith. He's the greatest Sith ever. What are you talking about?
Well,
And then
in
you
fact,
try to like, have
it-
you met Sheev?
Oh God, don't you? No.
But I'm saying this is stuff I've heard.
I don't even count Snoke as a Sith or anything.
Right.
At best, he might be a dark Jedi, but that's about as much context as we've got for them. Sith wasn't even really mentioned until what the Rise of Skywalker, and that did involve Sheev.
Yeah,
but that was it.
I'm just saying this is the kind of
Piss
stuff,
off.
and it's like piss off back to your hut that you live in.
But no, here was something kind of funny that there we go. This guy open airlock policy on Twitter that I follow. He's another EU purist, and it was funny because he's like, guys, the Kennedy camp in the Civil War has a book out connecting all Star Wars in the Disney era. Her projects are circled red, and the good one we liked is circled in blue. If it's not her camp, then the John and Dave camp are John Favreau and Dave Filoni camp are making it just so they don't lose their jobs. Because I mean, look at they're putting out the Timelines book, and it's including the sequel trilogy. We've got the High Republic and everything else that follows. Even the what is that? Oh, that's Rebels. It's being included, all of it. So it's not going away. And I did kind of have some fun. I responded with, it's totes 4D chess, brah. They're just trying to make her feel comfortable, and then when she's least expected, bam, she'll be out of there. Just you wait and see. Because it's been this whole rumor of like, there's a civil war going on at the Disney Lucasfilm camp. There's fighting. It's gonna come down to it. No, it's not. They're all in bed with each other. They're all working together to make this garbage.
No, I think I distinctly remember. I think it was an article, but what you're talking about, like them retconning 789 or whatever it is, and I was like, they're not going to do it because then they have to your point, they admit that they were wrong and they're not going to do it.
Yeah, no, it requires doing that. So now, like I said, with this first episode, it was
let's do our rating.
It was a decent enough setup. Again, Phil has its inconsistencies here and there. I mean, I can only say it just does its okay. It does a fine enough job to get into it, but it's like I said, it was kind of hard for me to finally just sit down and watch this because I already know that was the problem. I knew what I was walking into, and I had to kind of fight that. But yeah,
let's do this. Was it easier to watch this first episode than the first chapter of Book of Boba?
Well, again, I knew what I was walking into with Mandalorian, so it's like kind of like, oh crap, I already said we were going to do this.
Right. No, I know.
Oh, do I really want to? I'm like, okay. Boom. Well, Book of Boba Fett was just like, okay, I just got to see what kind of shit show this turns into or doesn't turn into. My curiosity was just kind of, it's now just kind of it. I'm just waiting to see how big a dumpster fire each of these shows becomes now, because it just means for us, we get to rant, rave, and roast it. So that's my positives I take from it now.
Right.
But yeah, it was probably easier just to jump into that. But I mean, first time when I first watched Mando legitimately, I mean, it was probably about the same. It was probably about the same for both of them. I was just kind of curious what they were going to do with this and what kind of direction they were going to take this all in.
I think I remember when this first came out, you and I were talking about it, I think at work, and I'm probably still equally as pissed now as I was when I first watched it. The only thing that has really changed is, like, I guess watching the Book of Boba and then reading the Bounty Hunter books has given a little bit more context.
Oh, you're going to get so jaded now.
Well, hey, it's fine because it's canon, so in EU.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I don't even know how we grade it, but yeah.
Like I said, it was decent enough first start. I'd say if I'll be generous and say it's like a maybe 5 out of 10.
Oof. I'm gonna sound like a dick with my score. I'm gonna give it like a 3, just because he grapple shotted the core and. Oh, you really give it a 5? Maybe I'm just.
I said, I could just being generous, but I mean,
make me look bad.
That beginning scene was good. The little. I mean, I know I've railed on about freaking one-liners, but it's like, he was in that little standoff, and like you said, it was, that was a bit of a Mandalorian moment of going, I like these odds. I'm willing to take y'all down. Let's do this.
Right.
So
it was think like, Jay, you're just a shyster. You're just too hard. You're just a critic.
It definitely, like I said, it went through weird moments where it was trying to be one thing and then was doing another thing a little bit. Yeah. But I remember just being like, this isn't a bad start. When I first watched, I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Could have been,
but it's not. It's not
worse?
As great as it could have. It could have been Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that's true. They've set the bar now. The bar's been set on just the.
Pretty much. I mean, like it was. They wanted to build this character. They didn't want to build anything to do with Boba Fett.
All right.
So, go figure.
Well, I'm excited to keep. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on episode? Yeah. Well, we'll get into it. But are you excited to roast episode 2?
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what episode. Well, because then that's going to be when they're bringing. Yeah, I'm starting to remember a little bit of that episode. Okay, yeah, I'm. Oh boy, yeah.
Buckle up, pack a lunch for those who are listening.
This is also where I'm remembering that episode. The second episode is definitely where I started having some problems with this freaking show.
Yeah, pack a lunch. Be 4 o'clock. Was it Mountain Time? 4 o'clock Mountain
Time? That's right. Next week we might be starting a little bit later because for work I'm not getting off till a little bit later, around 3:30.
That's so fine.
I might not be. We might start maybe 4:30 or 5.
That's
probably
fine.
5.
This is actually really good because this episode, to your point, this is where I'd agree where it started really kind of messing with me. Not feeling it, not jiving it, but this will give us enough time to pack a lunch, get a blanket. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for listening or watching. Y'all have a good one.